Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is, of course, Cameron. It is the player ratings. Brentford 1, Everton 1 at the Brentford Community Stadium yesterday. We've just done the instant match reaction then, talking about what I feel was a disappointing result for Everton. Look, I know we rode our luck massively. I understand Brentford hit the post and the bar about 17,000 times, but when you're 1-0 up, with 5 minutes to go, and you're desperate for that first Premier League win of the season, and you end up conceding late on, and then only managing to get a point, it's disappointing. It is. I think Lampard maybe could have managed the game a little bit differently in the second half. I thought we were very, very good in the first half, certainly attacking-wise, getting at them, creating chances. Obviously, we got the goal in the first half as well. And I just think in the second half, we were a little bit predictable, sit everybody behind the ball, try and defend and give Brentford all of the possession. And, if that had have worked, we'd all be sitting here saying it was a masterstroke. But the reality of the situation is it didn't work. And it only helped Brentford gain confidence, and it only helped Brentford believe that they could get back into the game as well. But anyway, we've done the instant match reaction. It's live on the channel now. Go and check it out if you haven't already. Let's get into the player ratings then. We'll start with Jordan Pickford. I'm going to give Jordan a 7. I thought he made a couple of good saves. I thought there were a couple of standout saves in which he made that were quite impressive. Getting down well and making himself big and denying, Brentford from getting back into the game earlier than what they did. I don't think he had much to do. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't troubled many a times. I haven't seen the goal again, so I can't really sit here and say he's at fault for the goal or he could have done better for the goal. But I thought he had a relatively decent game. To be honest with you, more likely, a sort of expected game for Jordan Pickford. But yeah, I don't really think he put much wrong. I don't really think he put a foot wrong, to be honest with you. So I'm going to give him a 7. Vitaly Mykolenko, I'm going to give him a 6. I think he probably could have done a little bit better throughout the game. I think defensively he was a little bit shaky again. And look, Vitaly Mykolenko has been absolutely fantastic since joining Everton Football Club. So I don't want to be too harsh on him because he's been brilliant. Again, I haven't seen the goal again, but I'm led to believe that he was at fault for the goal. I think everybody else followed the offside trap except Vitaly Mykolenko. He did obviously suffer from cramp towards the end of the game and have to come off, and maybe that was why he wasn't as switched on for the goal as maybe he should have been. He didn't really offer much going forward. There's a couple of times he got forward and he played a couple of nice passes, but there wasn't really much being offered there. And yeah, I just think it wasn't his best game. I don't think it was particularly his best game in an Everton shirt. And given the standard that we hold him at because of how good he's been recently, you would probably expect a little bit more from Vitaly. So yeah, into the defence then, James Tarkowski. I'm going to give him a 6.5. I don't think individually he did anything, I absolutely dreadful, or I don't think it was a case of, oh my God, he was woeful today. I just think it was more of a case of, again, I expect better from him. I think defensively as a whole, we were far too lenient with Brentford. We gifted them far too many opportunities. I mean, when you look at the 3 or 4 chances they had where they come close to scoring in that first half, I think they hit the post on a couple of occasions. They did hit the post on a couple of occasions because it was right in front of me. It's just far too easy, Everton allowing them to get into those positions and to create those opportunities. We've spoken a lot recently about how we've become much more solid defensively with Conor Cody in there, with Tarkowski in there, with the 5 at the back. I don't particularly think that solidity was on show yesterday. I think we were poor defensively, I do, and I expected better from Tarkowski. Conor Cody, I'm going to give him the same. Again, very similarly, obviously he got the assist for the goal, which was a really, really lovely ball up to Anthony Gordon. And as I said before in the instant match reaction, why we don't do this route one more often, I'll never know, because it very, very clearly works. And the fact that we don't try it more often is beyond me. But I was a little bit disappointed with Conor Cody yesterday defensively. Again, I thought the pair of them could have done much better. I think, don't get me wrong, Brentford are a good team. They create chances. They're capable of scoring goals and created chances. We've seen that on a number of occasions before, and even this season we've seen it on a number of occasions against Manchester United, etc. But I just expected more from our defence. I expected us to be a little bit better. I expected us to be a little bit sharper. I expected us to be, a little bit tougher on Brentford, and I think we made it far too easy for them on more than one occasion. Mason Holgate, I'll give him a 7 because I don't think he was maybe as poor as the other two. Obviously he had to come off towards the back end of the game as well and be replaced by Michael Keane with an injury that could keep him out for up to a few weeks, I believe. Hopefully that isn't too serious, but as I said, I read yesterday after the game that could be Mason out now for a number of weeks, which is, just exactly what we need, isn't it? Another injury. When was the last time we actually played a game of footy where we didn't come out of it without an injury? I can't remember, to be honest with you, where we did come out of it without an injury, sorry. But yeah, I thought Mason was okay yesterday. Again, in that 5 at the back, I think he's done well there recently when he's had to play there. I think he's managed himself well. I think he's benefited from having 2 solid sort of Premier League experienced defenders next to him who understand the role and what they need to do. Obviously, yesterday, again, as I said, they were a bit poor, but typically, understand what they need to do. I thought Mason was okay again yesterday. I thought he was okay. Nathan Patterson, I'm going to give him a 6. Not his best game in an Everton shirt, if I'm being honest with you. And look, again, I don't think there's any need for any form of exaggeration or any form of, heads falling off with this. I think Nathan Patterson has been absolutely fantastic recently. And I think barring Alex Iwobi in our last 3-4 games, I think Nathan Patterson has probably been our best player, if I'm being honest with you. Yesterday, he was a little bit poor. Again, I think he was at fault for the goal. I think he could have done a little bit better. And there was a couple of chances that they had in that first half where he just made it far too easy for them, ducking underneath balls, allowing them to get in behind. Positional wise, he wasn't particularly great. And yeah, I just think we've seen much better from Nathan Patterson, and I think you expect much better from Nathan Patterson as well. Into the midfield then, Amadou Onana. Pardon me, I'm going to give him a 9, if I'm being honest with you. I'm going to give him a 9. I think he's been... I think he was fantastic yesterday. Now, obviously, he come off, and I quite vocally said on Twitter, I don't think that was the right decision to bring him off. We obviously found out a little bit later on into the evening that he basically at half-time asked to come off and said that he wasn't going to be able to play the full 90 minutes, which, again, I suppose is to be expected because of match fitness and things like that. But I thought he was very, very good yesterday. I think we really started to see exactly the type of player that Amadou Onana is. A big, strong centre midfielder who puts himself about, who can use his body weight and his size to his advantage, who can move the ball well. I thought his pass to Demarai Gray was absolutely fantastic, and I think Demarai Gray should have done much, much better with it. I thought he was really, really, really impressive yesterday. Really, really impressive. And once we've got a fully fit Amadou Onana, who can play 90 minutes week in, week out with no issue, then I think we've got some player on our hands. I really, really do. Alex Iwobi next to him, I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think he was as active as he's been recently. I don't think he was as involved as he's been recently. But I still think he put a good performance in, to be honest with you. I still think he got about the pitch. He worked hard. He moved the ball well. He put himself about. And yeah, as I said, I still think he done relatively well. Again, was getting about, was winning it, was everywhere really. Just the I suppose, what you expect from Alex Iwobi. This new Alex Iwobi, that is what you expect from him, don't you? You expect him to get about and win the ball back and control the midfield and move it well, and that's exactly what he does, and he did that yesterday as well. Into the forward three then, Anthony Gordon. I'm going to give Anthony an 8. I think he worked hard. I think you could see his desire was there, his effort was there, his determination was there. He got his goal, which will do him, massive amounts of good for whatever his future is going to be, whether it's going to be at Everton or whether it's going to be at elsewhere. A goal yesterday will certainly help him in that sense. And yeah, I thought he put himself about, thought he worked hard, thought he battled, Thought he was relatively creative, moved the ball well, absolutely clattered into Brentford's assistant manager, which was good to see as well. And yeah, I thought it was Anthony's best game in an Everton shirt in certainly this season. Dwight McNeil, going to give him a 5.5. I thought he worked well, as in worked hard. Thought he battled. Thought he put himself about. But there's just no anything from him at the moment, is there? There's no end product. There's no creativity. There's no goal scoring threat. There's no chances created. There's just nothing from him really at the moment. And that is extremely, extremely disappointing when, you consider his talent and what he can bring. It's disappointing to say that we haven't really seen that yet. So yeah, not a particularly exciting game from Dwight McNeil yesterday. And then Demarai Gray, I'll give him a 6. Again, very similarly, not a particularly exciting game, to be honest with you, from Demarai Gray. Thought he should have done much, much better with that chance from the Amadou Onana pass. I thought it was poor, to be honest, and I expected him to do a little bit better. He was involved, and he put himself about, and he worked hard, and he ran round. But I just think he could have done a little bit more, to be honest with you. He wasn't at that level as what he's been at in the last couple of games, put it that way. Onto the bench then, Michael Keane. Give him a 6. Come on. Sat in that defence. I'm not really sure whether he was at fault for the goal. I don't think he was. But sat in that defence. Done what he needed to do. And yeah, thought he was okay. Tom Davies. Again, give him a 6. I don't think his substitution particularly changed the game, although I think had Amadou Onana have stayed on, I think we'd have had more of a chance of winning. But that wasn't necessarily because Tom was poor. That was just because of how good Amadou Onana was. But Tom was okay. Ruben Vinagre, I think probably should have come on a little bit earlier, considering, I think Vitaly Mikalenko's cramp was quite clearly affecting him. He can have a 6.5 as well. And then Solomon Rondon can have a 5, because I can't remember him touching the ball in any way, shape or form, to be honest with you, or doing anything with it. But anyway, look, there you go. Quick one. But my throat is in absolute agony, so I had to make this one short and sweet. If you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We will be back tomorrow with the live game review, so don't forget to join us for that one. But until then, massive, massive thank you all for watching. Don't forget to check out the Instant Match Reaction if you haven't already. If you've enjoyed this one, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you later.